Available now. Link below.
In a shocking turn of events, President Trump has unleashed a scathing attack on Senator Lindsey Graham, blasting him over his controversial abortion comments and proposals. The battle between these two prominent Republican figures has taken center stage, exposing a deep divide within the party, and Trump's candid admission, "I blame myself for Lindsey Graham," is a stark reminder of the volatile nature of political alliances and the potential consequences of endorsement decisions. As the former president expresses regret over his past support for Graham, the senator finds himself at the receiving end of a barrage of criticism. The implications of this clash extend far beyond personal disagreements, as it raises crucial questions about the future of abortion rights and the direction of the Republican Party. So stay tuned as we peel back the layers of this explosive confrontation in our special report. Now imagine if your bank accidentally exposed your personal information, leaving you vulnerable to identity theft. Well, that's exactly what happened to thousands of unsuspecting individuals during a recent data breach. Just like how Lindsey Graham's actions have exposed the Republican Party to criticism and defense, these data leaks expose innocent people to potential harm. That's why I rely on Virtual Shield to protect my online privacy. With military-grade encryption, anonymous browsing, and a strict no-log policy, Virtual Shield ensures that my sensitive information remains secure from prying eyes. Don't leave yourself exposed like those affected by the data breach or the GOP's internal conflicts. Visit hidewithgary.com and click the link in the description to get up to 67% off and a 60-day risk-free trial. Protect yourself with Virtual Shield, just as the Republican Party must now protect itself from further division. Now, in the grand spectacle of American politics, President Trump's bold declaration, "I blame myself for Lindsey Graham," reverberates through the halls of power. This stunning admission marks a significant shift in the political landscape as the once strong alliance between the two prominent Republican figures crumbles under the weight of the contentious abortion debate. Now, the battle lines are drawn, with President Trump firmly asserting that individual states should hold the authority to determine abortion policies. In a series of impassioned statements on Truth Social, Trump underscores his commitment to the sanctity of life, emphatically stating that the Republican Party should always stand for life. Now, this unwavering stance sets the dramatic stage for confrontation with Lindsey Graham, who finds himself in the crosshairs of Trump's criticism. Let's take a look.
Under my leadership, the Republican Party will always support the creation of strong, thriving, and healthy American families. We want to make it easier for mothers and families to have babies, not harder. That includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America. Like the overwhelming majority of Americans, including the vast majority of Republicans, conservatives, Christians, and pro-life Americans, I strongly support the availability of IVF for couples who are trying to have a precious baby. What could be more beautiful or better than that? Today, I'm pleased that the Alabama legislature has acted very quickly and passed legislation that preserves the availability of IVF in Alabama. They really did a great and fast job. The Republican Party should always be on the side of the miracle of life and the side of mothers, father, their beautiful babies, and that's what we are. IVF is an important part of that, and our great Republican Party will always be with you in your quest for the ultimate joy in life. Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that. My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart or, in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote.
Graham's proposed federal abortion regulations have drawn the ire of the former president, who accuses the senator of engaging in a sad political game. Trump argues that Graham's actions inadvertently bolster the Democrats' position, granting them undue influence over a matter that should remain within the purview of state jurisdiction. Now, the clash between Trump and Graham is not merely a disagreement over policy, it represents a fundamental divide within the Republican Party itself. As the GOP grapples with the fallout from the 2022 midterm elections, where Democrats defied expectations and made significant gains, well, the blame game has begun. Trump, ever the strategic player, points the finger squarely at Lindsey Graham, holding him responsible for the party's lackluster performance. Now, in this post, President Trump expresses his frustration with Lindsey Graham and Marjorie Dannenfelser, stating that their push for federal abortion restrictions at various stages of pregnancy is futile and detrimental to the Republican cause. Now, the implications of this internal strife extend far beyond mere political theater. It raises profound questions about the future direction of the Republican Party and its stance on the highly charged issue of abortion rights. As the nation watches the drama unfold, it becomes increasingly clear the GOP must navigate a treacherous path, balancing the complex and competing interests of its diverse constituency while maintaining a united front against the Democrats. Here's more.
This was his way of putting his marker on where he's going to stand, and that's not going to change.
Alice, his former Vice President Mike Pence posted on X, on Twitter, this response, quote, President Trump's retreat on the right to life is a slap in the face to the millions of pro-life Americans who voted for him in 2016 and 2020. And we saw a similar note of criticism from Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, who said, quote, I respectfully disagree with President Trump's statement that abortion is a states' rights issue. Dobbs, that's the case in which Roe was overturned, Dobbs does not require that conclusion legally. And the pro-life movement has always been about the well-being of the unborn child, not geography, meaning state by state. Trump took to Truth Social just moments ago to attack Lindsey Graham by saying, in part, Senator Lindsey Graham is doing a great disservice to the Republican Party and to our country. He basically is saying that that's a loser of an issue politically, so Republicans shouldn't be there. Do you think any of this is going to have any impact on anti-abortion, pro-life voters?
I don't think so. They are taking this as an opportunity to really express their frustration with this. You have groups like Susan B. Anthony who say keeping this in the hands of the state really cedes this to the Democratic will on abortion, which they think is late-term abortion. You have groups like Concerned Women for America who say that they support Donald Trump's position, but they would like to see talk about national limits on abortions, not bans. But we have to recognize the fact we're past the Republican primary. He's the presumptive nominee. We're in a general election, and Donald Trump needs to appeal to independent, more moderate voters. And politically speaking, he's not going to do so if the threat hangs out there of a federal ban. And you can be pro-life, you can be anti-abortion, but we must recognize the political reality. If he did not put a pin in this and explain exactly what his position is, Democrats would be hanging over his head about a federal ban, which, mind you, couldn't happen because neither side would get 60 votes for a federal ban. But it was important politically for Donald Trump to put his flag in the ground on this issue.
How do Democrats see it? Because I don't think it's like that.
I don't think so either. I think that Democrats think this is a losing issue for Republicans. I think that time and time again in the midterms and in these conservative states where ballot initiatives have lost, this is not a winning issue for Republicans. Democrats are going to take full advantage, not only from a fundraising point of view, but also at the ballot box in November.
Now, Senator Graham, for his part, remains steadfast in his conviction that federal limits on abortion are necessary. He argues that the Republican Party must not abandon its opposition to late-term abortion, asserting that most Americans share this sentiment. Graham's unwavering stance, however, has drawn sharp criticism from both sides of the aisle, with many accusing him of overstepping his bounds and jeopardizing the party's electoral prospects. Now, in another powerful post, Trump calls upon Lindsey Graham and Marjorie Dannenfelser to study the 10th Amendment and embrace states' rights, urging them to focus on helping Republicans win elections rather than hindering their chances. And finally, in a stunning admission, President Trump accepts responsibility for Lindsey Graham's political success, stating, I blame myself for Lindsey Graham because the only reason he won the great state of South Carolina is because I endorsed him. As this battle between political titans rages, the American people are left to ponder the consequences of this internal strife within the Republican Party. The once solid alliance between Trump and Graham has been shattered, replaced by a bitter feud that threatens to reshape the political landscape for years to come. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is right now. The explosive confrontation between President Trump and Senator Lindsey Graham over abortion rights serves as a reminder of the fragile nature of political alliances. This battle, fraught right there in front of us on the grand stage of American politics, has far-reaching implications not only for the Republican Party, but for the nation as a whole. As Trump's scathing criticism of Graham reverberates through the halls of power, it becomes clear that the issue of abortion remains a deeply divisive and emotionally charged topic. And the GOP now finds itself at a crossroads, grappling with the competing interests of its diverse constituency while striving to maintain a united front against the Democrats. As the dust settles on this dramatic clash, one thing is certain: the future of abortion rights and the direction of the Republican Party hang in the balance, and the American people are watching closely. Congratulations, you made it to the end of the video. Now keep up your quest for truth with this next news report. And if you found our channel enlightening, join the millions who agree with you. Tap subscribe. Thank you for watching the Next News Network.